So let me return to the question of what's next in terms of what you're immediately planning. And that is the mission with SpaceX to send astronauts back to the moon. You just issued, I think, a $2.9 billion contract for that. And you've talked about the possibility that would happen by the end of 2024. Give us an update on that, what you imagine that mission accomplishing beyond what we did in our earlier trips to the moon. And then if you could talk a little bit about the plans that NASA has announced for what sounds like a permanent orbiting station, which you call Gateway, that would be orbiting the moon. What would that be available for? What purpose does NASA see for it?
The contract to SpaceX is held in abeyance right now as it is contested in the procedures of the federal government by the GAO. We're expecting an announcement in the next few weeks. And on the basis of that, we will then proceed. Whatever way we proceed, we want competition. And therefore, we need some more money to enhance and procure that competition so that there are other players that get involved. And a good example of that, when the competition was occurring between Boeing and SpaceX for crew going to the space station, everybody thought Boeing was going to win it hands down. Well, look, SpaceX has already delivered 3 crews and Boeing's not off the ground yet. So that's why we want competition. So where is it going? It's going back to the moon. Astronauts will ride on the largest rocket ever, which, by the way, will launch at the end of this year. They will take our astronauts into lunar orbit. They will transfer into a commercial lander, which, of course, NASA will be all over because it's involving human life. That lander will go down, do their activities, meet up with other commercial experiments on the moon that have already landed, and then come back when we return our astronauts, hitch up in lunar orbit, and the spacecraft called Orion will go back to Earth. Follow on is what you just mentioned, Gateway, which is, some call it a station, but it's more like an outpost that will be in lunar orbit, and it will serve a number of purposes. It can be the way station to transfer astronauts and then to go down to the surface of the moon in different locations on the surface. It will be a place for research. It will be a place for assembling the huge rocket and the supplies that will ultimately take us to Mars. So that is what the function of the Gateway is. We're looking at late in the decade of the 2030s by the time we would develop all the technology of how you sustain human life all the way to Mars, stay on the surface maybe 6 months, and then come all the way back.